and writer E.O. Wilson once wrote, "The time has come to link ecology with human and economic development. When you have seen one ant, one bird, one tree, you have not seen them all. What is happening to the rainforests of Madagascar will affect us all." And so, nearly 2 decades after leaving Madagascar, our protagonist is still in the game, having now worked as an international agricultural scientist on every continent except Antarctica. Yet that economic and human development need alluded to by Wilson was now more urgent and more needed than ever. After years of working in Asia, she accepts an assignment in East Africa to work on cassava. What is cassava, you may well ask? Cassava roots, the source of the more familiar tapioca, is one of the most important subsistence food crops in the world. The normally dependable staple crop, particularly for poor smallholder farmers, had been compromised by the combined effects of 2 invasive exotic diseases. Our protagonist is appointed director of this project, based in Nairobi, Kenya. I told you we'd get there eventually. Here she was at last, her office, not far from the elephant orphanage in the suburb known as Karen, named after Miss Karen Blixen, and just a day's drive from the aforementioned Serengeti Plains and the towering Mount Kilimanjaro. And so she settles once again into the rhythms of life and work in Africa. In Uganda, her work takes her near the mountain gorillas in the mist, as it were. In Rwanda, there is little to remind our protagonist of the once dreadful genocide more than a decade earlier. But perhaps Conrad's fabled Congo draws her more deeply into the mystique of Africa than any other people or place. Yet the colonial enterprise is still underway here, as foreign firms vie for precious metals and stones, and the local villagers caught between the rock and the hard place of rebels and reactionaries. Back in Nairobi, she and her guard, Aduda, together recreate a rural environment in this urban setting, planting and tending an extensive garden and acquiring some local egg-laying chickens. In order to keep the chickens fed and fat, they create an earthworm farm. But the chickens grow so fat on the earthworms, they're unable to lay eggs. Moreover, unlike modern industrial breeds of fowl, these local chickens seem to require a rooster in order to lay eggs. And so one day, the pair acquire Freddie the rooster. Freddie soon makes his presence known, usurping the throne of the early bird gets the worm, and effectively stealing the thunder of the myriad native African birds of dawn.